Welcome, everybody. Welcome as you come in. Welcome, welcome. Please go ahead and let us know where you're coming from. Where are you watching from? Let us know in your chat. California. Awesome. We've got Minnesota. We've got New Hampshire, Hampton, Georgia, Florida. Amazing. If you're just coming in, let us know where you're coming from. Where are you watching from? The UAE. Awesome. Tennessee. Very good. All right, so as more people trickle in, we're going to go ahead and get started because we want to make sure and use all of our time well. So we're going to go ahead and start off. Awesome. We already have somebody who says these webinars have been very informative. So that's great. So glad to hear it. Yay. Well, thanks for coming back and being here for this one. Um, all right, Rachel is going to start us off with a couple of announcements.
Hey folks, we're so glad you're here. First of all, we just want to give you a quick overview of how the webinar is going to be laid out this week. Chat is viewable and chattable to panelists and host, but you won't be able to see it. So don't worry if you ask a question, we will be able to respond to you. The Q&A section at the bottom is the preferred way for you to ask questions that would impact the whole group, and we'll be able to either respond to them live or we will, and that will be like a text back to you, and everyone will be able to see it in the Q&A, or we will save and respond to these questions at the end during the Q&A section. Survey will be sent out during the webinar via the chat feature, and you will see that show up in chat that you can click on. It's a Google survey. This is webinar number 4 in the series. And then we will be announcing those giveaways, just like we did last week. In your follow-up resources, you will see who's been winning the Stanley Cups. And if you happen to bring a friend, please shoot me an email at either at hi@classkick.com or at rachel@classkick.com and let me know that you invited a friend and that they're here, and I'll be happy to enter you an additional time into our drawing this week. Katie, I'm gonna kick it to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rachel. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Katie Colby. I'm the community coordinator for Classkick, which means I do a lot of these teacher-facing things, PDs, webinars, the coach program, which we have two amazing coaches with us today, Ryan and Angela, who are here to share. If you are new to Classkick, if Classkick is not something you've tried before, maybe you're still fairly new, or you just found out about this webinar and wanted to know what it's all about. Well, I'll just give you a quick little intro to Classkick. Classkick is an educational technology tool that teachers and students use in their classrooms. It is basically like a digital desk or workbook where students can go in and they can answer questions. Teachers can provide questions, resources, even their own curriculum they can put right into Classkick. And then students can get on there and answer questions. Some of them can be auto grading for teachers. And then teachers can also watch students working in real time and get that immediate, students can get that immediate feedback, and teachers get that immediate visibility into what their students know and are thinking, and their understanding of the concepts that they're teaching. So it's really great because it has that real-time visibility and that real-time feedback. Teachers can give feedback to all of their students at once or individualized per student, per page in Classkick, and it's really amazing. So we're super excited that you're here learning about Classkick. For those of you that use it all the time, we're super excited to welcome you back to the webinar and hopefully you learned something new today. So today's topic is all about grading, and it's to help you not have to be grading everything. I know when I was a teacher and I taught second grade, I hate to say this, but I had a stack of papers by Christmas time that I hadn't graded yet because it was just so much work to go through and grade all of these papers. So Classkick is here to help take that away, that daunting task away for you. And Ryan and Angela are both going to show us kind of some ways to do that, to focus on feedback and not just the grading piece, and to help grading be smoother for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I think Ryan's going first. Is that right?
I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself first and then
Okay,
I'll give it to
perfect.
Ryan. Yeah, my name is
Perfect.
Angela Jones. I am in California. I teach at an all virtual school. It's a K through 12 public school here in California. I mainly teach seventh grade math, but I do oversee other subjects. So I found Classkick probably 3 years ago, and I'm like, I have to share this with to the world. So I'm going to become a Classkick coach and share all of this out. So I'm so glad you're here. I hope you learn and take away something new to use. And Ryan's going to start us off today.
All right, thank you. Like has been said, my name is Ryan Martin. I am a high school math teacher and in person in Pennsylvania, South Central Pennsylvania. And so Angela and I are opposite ends of the United States coast here today. And I've been using Classkick for probably about 6 years, which is kind of hard to kind of wrap my brain around. And kind of like Angela, I've fallen in love with it, and I love to be able to convince my colleagues and anybody I can of just the value and the benefit that I've seen from this. So I want to kind of set up the webinar kind of like Katie just did, which is that I just worked a full school day and I don't have time to just sit around and grade. And I have absolutely been guilty of telling the kids I'm going to grade something and gathering it. And then I realized I didn't have time. And I may have at some point thrown things into the trash can because I didn't have time to grade it. And I think we can all echo as teachers, and I think it's Teacher Appreciation Day of all days too. We don't have time. I don't have extra time to sit around. And so in my mind, I was imagining what would it be like if we all had like a secretary who was in charge of grading, and how amazing that would be to have somebody to do the work for you. And what we want to try to convince you of here today is that this is what Classkick, at least one of the things that Classkick can do for you. But the problem maybe you're even thinking here is, yeah, but I don't have time. You just told me I don't have time. I don't have time. How do I have time to make these assignments that Classkick is eventually going to grade for me? And so what my appeal to you today is that if you would take a few minutes to make an assignment well, it will save you time every single day. It'll save you time every school year, every semester when it comes time to grade things. And the common theme that I want you to hear from me today is your future self will thank you for doing this. And so at this point, what I'd like to do is I'm actually going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a little demonstration of exactly how I would be doing this. And so literally this worksheet that I have right here in front of you is literally a worksheet that in my past, I would have, first of all, printed, walked to the copier, made copies. I'm already wasting time doing that. And then I would have given it to my students, and then I would have had them do it maybe in class. Maybe it would be a homework. I mean, this one you can even says homework on there, something they do at home. They have no idea if their answers are right. They then come back into me the next day. I would then project up my answer key. Kids have to take the time to go through and check all of their work to make sure it looks correct. And then we have to discuss any issues that they may be having. Um, and I've just taken a lot of my own personal prep time as well as taking time during class to try to help kids who otherwise don't really know if they've done anything right or wrong. And I also know for sure that one of the big things with practice is if you do something wrong and you practice it wrong over and over and over again, you've just reinforced something that's not correct. And so it would be really nice to be able to interrupt their thought process while they're working. And so this is what I want to try to convince you of, is that I want to show you some little tips and tricks that I can create this assignment into a Classkick assignment very quickly so that it will do a lot of the grading at least for me, and therefore I don't have to actually do so much of the work myself. So with that, here's my blank Classkick place, and what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to take go and create new. I'm going to create a new blank assignment. I always personally start with a new blank assignment, and I'm just going to call this homework worksheet for today. Okay, and what I want you to see is if you're thinking through this, you'll notice my first 12 questions here are all kind of the same thing. They all have one set of directions. I have 12 different questions that all contain a graph. And so what I want to try to show you, one of the things that I really like to do is to actually make a template for myself to try to save myself time. So what I mean by that is I can go in here and literally copy the exact text that I already have in my directions on my worksheet, and I can just paste that right onto my slide. I can then also go over here and I can realize that I'm going to need these graphs. Okay. And so I'm going to take a little screenshot of this and paste this onto my slide as well, resize it kind of however you want it to be. You'll notice my directions here, I have a kind of a couple parts to it. I'm supposed to find the slope and the y-intercept of each equation, and then I'm supposed to graph it. So one of the things that I like to do, and my students at this point would know this, is we always use the letter M for slope. So I'm going to put an M there, and I'm going to put a B equals right here for the y-intercept. And I know that what I'd like for my kids to be able to do is have a checkpoint. Like, I don't want them to just go graph it. I want them to know, is my slope right? Is my y-intercept right? And so what I would do is I would then grab one of these fill in the blank boxes and I would put something here. And what I'm going to do is, because I know I need 12 of these questions, I usually just put acceptable answer. I almost always put the number one. I don't know why I choose number one. And then I just set my points to however I want it to be. And then what I'm going to do, and maybe you don't realize that you can do this, but so many things on Classkick are actually, I don't know if these are words, copy and pasteable. I'm not sure if those are actually words. But what I can do is I'm on my box right now. If I just Command C and Command V, I can immediately copy and paste that. And now I have a second box. That second box is the exact same size. It has the exact same answer in the box. It has the exact same point value. So everything is exactly the same. And so what you're going to notice here at this point is all that I'm missing for question number one is the actual question. Well, if you realize I'm going to do this 12 more times, so do I really want to do that exact process that I just did 12 more times? Well, the answer, of course, is I don't think so. So here's what I'm going to show you how you can do it. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. If you go back on Classkick, there are these 3 dots that exist on each one of your slides, and there are some things that you can do here. So you can say, I can copy one slide, copy all, will actually copy all 3 of my slides here. And then once you have something copied, you can paste it. Duplicate means this one slide that I have here will duplicate it right next to it. And so I need to do that. I want to duplicate that. And so now I have 2 slides that look exactly the same. At this point, I might even delete these guys right here because I don't know that I might need this in a minute, but I like to just get down to what I really need. And why I say that is because now I can actually copy all of these, which will actually copy both slides. I can paste them, and now I'm going to have 4. I can copy all, and I can paste. I've now got 8, and I can paste one more time, and now I've got 12 slides that are all identical, that all I need to now do is go throw my questions in here and make sure the answers actually match. And so I just go back here, and again, I zoom in, I get my screenshot, I grab this question, go back, paste, and now I've got it, and I'm on to slide number 2, and I'll go back and do my answers here in a minute. And I grab number 2, paste, put it where you want it, go to slide 3, copy, paste, and you get the idea. And very quickly now, all of a sudden, I'm going to end up with 12 slides. And I mean, how long has this webinar been going for? 13 minutes. And I'm almost done at this point. Right now, again, you might be thinking, yeah, but you still have to go put the answers in. And I agree. So I would go back here and I'd pull out my answer key. Here it is. I know, hey, look at that. My answer is going to be correct from my first box because I told it the slope was 1. Okay. And now my other one is B is equal to 2. Go in here and I can quickly simply change this answer, move on to slide 2. I go back to my answer key. My slope is this time -1/3. My y-intercept is going to be -3. And all of a sudden, I'm now flying through this. And what I could tell you is, however long it's going to take me to make this assignment, it will take me at least as long to go and grade this for one class. And likely for me, I'm going to have multiple sections of this exact same class. And probably next school year, I'm going to teach this exact same class and want to use that again. And I could even, like, if I'm good with how I did it, but maybe next year I could add some different things to my slides to make it even better. And all of a sudden, me taking the 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long it might take you to make an assignment, I get to save that 5 or 10 minutes in grading in the future. And so this is your future self will thank you. Okay. And I just want to point out, as I go back to Classkick here really quickly, there are so many things on here that are copy and pasteable as well. Like, maybe you don't realize this, but if you're doing a multiple choice question and the answer was D, okay, and I click save, did you know that you could take this, you could literally select it and push Command C, go to slide number 4, and I could push Command V, and it will copy and paste as long as it's the same answer. You can just do that. Your answer boxes, I can copy this, Command C, and I can go to the next slide, Command V, and it will paste another box. I could grab this graph, go back to a different slide, and I could paste it again. I will get another one. And again, they're all the same size. They're in the same place. You can copy and paste text. There's just so many different things that you can do in regards to that. A couple other things that I just want to show you. So maybe, and I've done this before too, where maybe you even noticed this was called 4.2 worksheet A. Well, maybe I have a 4.2 worksheet B, and that worksheet actually has very much the same kinds of questions on there. I don't really want to have to make this entire assignment again to just have to change the questions out. And so one of the things that you can do is I can go back to this screen here where I have already created it, and now I have 3 dots over here on the right-hand side, and I can duplicate this entire assignment. And so now I've got another worksheet, homework worksheet, and I'll call this one homework worksheet B. And again, I could go back in here and just delete my questions that I had, re-put in a new one, change my answers. And again, I've created another worksheet with more practice that kids can get. And again, it's going to be able to grade a lot of these things for them. One of the other things that I will just point out as well is, let's say you have this assignment that I'm working on right here, and you really like slide number 3. Just picking a slide here. Let's say you really like slide number 3, but you realize I really like slide 3, but I want to put it on a different assignment, and I don't really want to copy the whole assignment. I just want that one slide on a different assignment. So I just want to point out that as you're in here, if you actually say copy right here, as long as you stay in the same tab, so I can't go to a different tab, but as long as you stay in the same tab and I go back out, I can even say I'd like to create a new assignment, and I can go in here and push the 3 dots and push paste. And you're going to notice that slide that I really liked from one assignment, I'd actually just put it into another one, and now I can edit that and move from there. And so not only can I copy entire assignments, I can copy things within one assignment, I can copy a whole slide from inside one assignment, but I can actually copy an entire slide or a whole bunch of slides from one thing to another. So again, just so many different little, I've learned over 6 years of using Classkick that if I can get fast at making things, I'm going to benefit. I always feel like when people come and talk to me about Classkick, they're like, I just don't know that I have time. But if you learn some of these little tricks and tips, it can make it so much easier so you don't have to have that stack of papers sitting there on your desk, or maybe in the trash can for that matter. So, and the last thing that I'll just point out at this point, and you can do this from a variety of different places, maybe you work on a team of teachers who all teach the same thing. Well, you can always share these things with your colleagues as well. So it's like a divide and conquer. And so now not everybody has to copy it. Not everybody has to grade it. One person has to make it, and you can share it with each other. And all of a sudden now you've got a whole library of things you can use within your teams to be able to do that. The last thing that I want to just talk about is, even maybe in this assignment, you're thinking, yeah, but I still have to grade this graph because it's going to grade these boxes for me. That's great. Those self-grading boxes, I got multiple choice. It'll grade that. But how do I do the graph? Because I don't know that I have time to grade all of these things. So I have another sample kind of situation that I have here, okay, where maybe this is an assignment that I actually did already give. And you can see I called it student 1, and I went through here and pretended as if I was student 1, answering very similar questions to what I was just showing. It's not exactly the same assignment, but you can see I had somebody that I pretended as if I was the student and went through all of these things. But you're going to notice I don't have these graphs actually graded or given any fee, or not that one, because that one was already there. But I don't have this. You can even see up in the top corner, I've got a 2 out of 3. You can see the student has actually raised their hand saying, I told them to, when they're done, tap the check with the hand raise. But now it's time, like, well, I actually have to go and grade this. Well, and this is where, and some of these things that I'm about to show you or just emphasize has been discussed in previous webinars, but I think it's worth just revisiting. One of the things that I like to do is I like to add myself as a student in my class, and I actually tend to sometimes just use my own slides as my answer key. So you'll notice here, I have actually, at least for the graph portion, I've graphed in. You'll notice that student 1 actually doesn't have a graph that perfectly matches right here. And you'll notice that, like, for slide number 4, I have to grade that one. That one does match, okay? And this one does match, and this one is not quite right. And so one of the things that you can do is you can quit. One of the things I really enjoy doing is using stickers. And I know this was talked about, but you'll notice I made 3 stickers here. I made your slope is incorrect, your y-intercept is incorrect, or your graph is great. And so any of the graphs that I can visually see right here, hey, that graph matches, I can just put a sticker right here and match it. I can look, oh, that one looks good. So I can put a sticker on there. And not only is it putting that feedback on there, it's lowering the hand, it's giving the point because I've assigned that. Okay, you can see that one looks pretty good too. I go over here, so there's one that's wrong. And it's your choice at this point. You can use a sticker to go grade that. You could click on the kid's slide and go give them feedback. But here's another one that looks good. Here's one. Let's see, where was this one? This person had slopes going up, but it was actually supposed to go down. So again, I have another sticker that I can go back over here and I can say, oh, that's your slope is incorrect. And I can paste that sticker on there. And I made that sticker worth a half a point. Like, you're close, but you didn't quite have it. So I'm giving partial credit. And so again, it's not me sitting there with a stack of papers flipping one by one through all of these different things. I can just do that really quickly. The other thing that kind of from here on the grading side is, instead of viewing all the slides like I have here, you can always just choose to, I know that some of these slides, like this one right here, slide number 4, is one that I'm going to have to grade the graphs by hand. So I can just say, I want to view slide number 4. And now I'm going to get to see, here's my answer key right here. And I'm going to get to see exactly what these students did. And so, and I'm going to see everybody in my class, just their slide 4. And so again, I can grab a sticker and I can say, okay, I'm going to grade all the ones that are where their graphs are good. And I would just click, 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 and I'd scroll down and click through all of them. And again, getting to see just one slide, and I'd be able to grade, I promise you, faster than what I'd be able to do by hand. And so again, hopefully these things are, certainly you don't have to grade everything, but it is nice to give kids feedback, and it is nice to be able to hold them accountable for different things. I teach high schoolers and they need some accountability. And so being able to do things quickly without it piling up on my desk is always really, really important to me. And so this is how I use Classkick as my personal secretary, my grading secretary that does a lot of these things for me. And I think Angela has a few things that she's going to share to help with the grading process too.
Thanks, Ryan. I actually learned a ton of things. I can't wait to try. So thank you for all of that. All right, so it's my turn, you guys. I'm so excited. I get to present to you something new coming your way soon. And it is an AI feature, and it is for your students to use. And I want to show you some of the steps that you'll take as a teacher to use it, the purpose of it, and what it looks like on the student's end as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. It is called Student Helper. And it is an AI feature that is coming heading your way, but right now it's in the beta. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I have an assignment here called AI Student Demo that we're going to use for this demonstration. And when you create your assignment, I just did one slide. And after you assign this assignment, you're going to notice something new that's going to pop up. And it's going to look like this. There's a blue icon at the top that says Student Helper. And this is going to be the AI feature that you are going to be able to assign and open up for your students. Now, I just want to make this clear that this AI feature is a helper. It will not give the students the answer. So this is a great feature that you can decide whether or not you want to use on what assignments you would like to use it on. So it does have the check here, which means I did already activate it for this assignment. But prior to that, you would go ahead and click on it, and it analyzes your slides for you, which is so great. So it's going to assess all of your slides. So if you have 5, 10, and then it's going to let you know that it has looked at them all and it's ready to go to work. All right, so once it's ready to go to work, your students will then be able to see it on their end. So the reason why I think this is going to be such a key feature for us teachers, several reasons, but again, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time to grade. We don't have a lot of time to give feedback, but we do know that it is valuable for those students to get feedback and to get that support, but we're not there 24/7. So this feature can be assigned or added to your slides as you see fit. And a great way to do it is if perhaps you're giving a homework assignment, right? You're not going to be there with the student, but they can have access to this student helper to help them get through the assignment. We all know that we've assigned homework assignments before. The student gets stuck and they just give up, they walk away, and that's it. We don't know what to do. But the student helper is going to keep them engaged and keep them going. It's going to ask them clarifying questions. It's going to keep them going forward. And if they are stuck, it's going to find out where they are stuck at and meet them there. So it's a great feature. I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right, so I have assigned it. I have a group of students here, and how you know that your students have used it is you'll see this little message chat icon. So I'll go ahead and click here on this student so you can see. And you'll notice something different. On the right side, you're going to notice this multicolored chat box off to the right. This is your AI helper. It is talking to your students. All right, the first thing that it does ask you once it is opened, it asks the students, okay, I see, you're here. Where are you stuck? And the student's going to click on wherever in the slide they are stuck on. And from there, it's going to start asking those questions and helping the student get to the right answer. All right, so the student clicked on this question and says, tell me what you're struggling with. And the student says, I don't know how to make an improper fraction, right? So, oh, it looks like you're working on this. Let me help you through those steps. And then it goes through the steps. And as you're adding your answers, it is also reevaluating and saying, oh, looks like you got it correct. Or you might need that negative sign. What happens when you have two negatives and you multiply them together? So it's asking the students clarifying questions and not giving them the actual answer. This is just one student, lots and lots of questions from the student. And what I like for the teachers is you get to view those chats. You get to see what were those questions where the students were stuck. And that might be, ooh, I need to reteach this because 5 out of 10 students perhaps were a miss on how to turn fractions into improper fractions. So again, a great feature on a way to reevaluate where you need to start maybe the next day. Again, I just have a variety of students here that have used the AI feature, but I want to then show you what it looks like on the student's end. What do they see? How do they get to access that, right? So let's see. I have my incognito window. Okay, so here I am. I'm a student, and when I get to this slide, I'm going to notice that there is a hand feature here that is now multicolored. Usually it's just there. Now we have a multicolored hand feature. So when I click on it, as a student, I can still get those same options. Do I need a teacher's help? Do I need the teacher to check? But now I also have this help from an AI. So now it's available. So if I'm ready to chat with my AI helper, I click there and I begin asking the AI questions, and it's going to guide me through getting to the correct answer. And I know that this feature is going to be demonstrated in the future. So this is kind of just an overview of what it's going to look like for your students as well as the teacher's side. So I had walked away from here for a minute. So it's asking me, because now I'm getting back to work. So maybe the student took a break. Now we're getting back. So where are we that we need to get back to? We want to still talk about this question here. We're still here. We have not solved it. We're still working through it. It's analyzing it. It's getting ready to work with that student. All right, so another way that you as teachers might want to use this, because again, we can't be everywhere at all the time. We have tons and tons of students coming in and out of our classroom. We try our best to meet them in person or one-on-one when we can. But class is over. We still haven't finished the assignment. You want them to finish it maybe by the end of the day. But again, you can't be there to support them. All right. So this is a great feature that you can turn on, knowing that they are going to get supported without you there until you can come back the next time, and then you can get back into assessing how the students are doing with this certain assignment. So that's another way that you can use it to, get your time back, and realizing that this feature, let me show you real quick. you have the opportunity to turn it off. So now you're back in class. You don't want them to use the AI feature anymore. You know, you are the teacher, and we're not trying to take that away by any means. So when you are there and you want to work with those students, you just click it off and it's no longer available. And this is only assigned to this assignment. So you have to, decide which assignments you want to have it available to. So you have all the control, and it's up to you how you would like to use it. So I'm so excited that it's coming your way. I know you're going to find it super valuable. And I know we have question opportunities at the end if you have more questions about this. And I think if Katie, do you want to say about next week, perhaps, what the goodies are coming?
Yes, no problem. Yeah. Thank you so much, Angela and Ryan. I'm super excited for both of the things that you presented. That's such good information. So I'll first start off by saying that we will be giving you a way to get access to this after next week's webinar because we have one more great AI tool that's coming up to share with you next week before we turn everything on for you. But once we do that, once we have that next webinar, we'll be able to turn that on for anyone who's interested. And then you'll get to go ahead and experience both of these new AI tools. So I'm very excited about that. And then you'll also be getting a freebie in your inbox with the follow-up email that gives you some descriptions on just kind of what we talked about here, a little bit of information on, not having to grade everything, and I'm excited for that too. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or the Q&A. I do have a couple in here so far, so I'm going to start with this attendee here asked in the Q&A, wondering if Ryan could show us how to export grades from his assignment he showed us. So Ryan, if you'd be able to do that, that would be really great.
All right, sure. So if I go back to the assignment that I have here, and all you need to do to export the grades, first of all, like now this isn't a great example because um, I don't have like first names, last names in here like I do in my classrooms, but you can always sort these things by first name, last name, things like that. And so you can even sometimes just match it up to what your grade book is and be able to punch it in really quickly. But you can also export. So if you go up here to the top right, these three dots, it'll export the points to a CSV file. I do not have the ability to do this, but there is abilities that Classkick has to be able to sync with a grade book, depending on what you use. But I usually just do export points to a CSV. If you had multiple rosters in here, they would all be in here. And you could export as many of them as you want, and it'll create a single CSV file that then when you open it, it'll show you different things. It'll tell you what the total number of points that person had, how many points were possible, what percent that is, and it'll actually break down each slide, each row representing a single student, and each slide there in the column. And you can see exactly what points were received on each slide too. So that's how you can export the points from a particular assignment.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. All right, let's see. Just gonna mention this real quick, just throw this out there that our survey link is in the chat now. So if you could please fill that out, that would be great. We've had a couple of people say that somebody said that this is super exciting when Angela was talking about the AI stuff. So that's great. I think that this person is excited to try it. And then someone else said, thank you so much for this very informative session. That's great. I'm so glad it was helpful. All right, any other? Oh, that's great. Michelle's gonna message her team right now, letting them know about that AI tool. She's excited. Awesome. All right, any other questions? I see one here. Can the student only communicate with the AI via the chat, or is the use of the mic also available to send a voice message? That's a great question. Um, right now, it's just through the chat, but our team is working on some accessibility pieces with that and wanting students at least to be able to voice to text with that, but it's not in Classkick yet to be able to do that. Some computers, though, and devices allow you to still do voice to text within the chat. So if you have that option on your device, your student's device, you can use that. And then one thing that's cool is that if there are any voice notes on there, like from the teacher, when the AI reads it, it will also be able to hear like it knows what's in the AI or what's in the voice notes, which is cool. So it's not just the stuff that's typed. It can look at pictures, it can look at pretty much everything on the page. So And it also knows what's the correct answer. So if you have a fill in the blank or a multiple choice, it knows what the correct answer is to kind of help guide the kids to that. So it's pretty cool. All right. Any other questions before we end? We still have about 10 minutes if anyone else has any questions. Oh, this question, somebody said, what program, Ryan, what program do you have your CSV opening in?
So that was just the numbers
Apple
app
one.
that I have on my Apple, yeah, my Mac. I actually don't really know how that got turned off from Excel, but yeah, usually a lot of things open up in Excel, but that one was numbers.
And you can drop CSV files into like Google Sheets as well. So there's a lot of different places. If you have a school or district account, if you're part of a school or district with Classkick, you can also use the grade export feature, which pushes grades directly to your LMS system that you use for grade books and reporting. So that's another great feature. Okay, someone else said, I haven't used the auto grade like Ryan was using to put correct answers in. How does he get that to grade for students?
So, do you think that question is like,
Yeah, how
how do
do
the
you put in
students
like,
get to see that?
yeah, and let's show like how to put one in and then
Mhm.
what the student sees. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me go back to this random assignment that I was working on. I don't even remember which one it was. Okay, so I'll just go in here. Anytime that so here is what the kind of that template that I had made. And all you're doing to make these boxes the grade is you're choosing this option right here. It's called, you can see it there. It says add fill in the blank. And you can literally make this as big or as small as you would like. So I just try to make it a reasonable size for whatever I expect it to be. And then as soon as you make that box on the right hand side of your screen, it's going to pop this little pop out from the right. That'll say edit fill in the blank. And there's actually two different kinds of answers that you can put in here. I can't tell you how excited I was when I learned about the STEM answers because as a math teacher, that was it was a game changer for me. So you can play around with the STEM. I tend to do that actually on my iPad to kind of help put those answers in there. So you can actually add like there's all kinds of different mathematical symbols, and I can use exponents now. Like so many really cool things that you can do there. But the most simple answer is I just use the plain text. Whoop, let me go back. Okay, just the plain text, and all you do is add an acceptable answer. So if the answer to the question is 5, you're just literally typing in that number. The nice thing is if a kid writes that, or maybe they were allowed to say 5.0, you can put that in if they were allowed to spell the number 5. And now anytime a kid, when they tap in the box and it'll pop up their keyboard or they can type in it, it'll any of these answers that they put in, it will make the box outline in green. And as long as I mean, it'll outline in green no matter what, but you can also set the point value for that box that as long as the answer they put in matches one of theirs, it'll set the point value there. And then what happens is Classkick is actually keeping track. Right now I have 3 boxes. They were all worth 1 point. And so up in the top corner, it's now telling me that my entire slide is worth 3 points. And then the nice thing is, if I go back to the one that actually had some work on it, is that when a student logs in, they're able to see this is exactly what their screen looks like. As long as I have the grades turned on, that they can see if it's right or not, this is exactly what it looks like. And it would take me a second to get there, but if I turned the points off right here, so if I turned it off, you can do it from there, or you can go into here and you can go to filters and I can say show students their points. I can toggle this off. And it would take me a second to get there. And I'm happy to do that if you really want to see it. But what would happen if this is my teacher screen? So I can still see whether things are right or not. But on the student screen, these boxes would just be gray. It's not giving them immediate feedback. And so if you literally wanted to give a quiz or a test on here, you just turn those point values off for the time. And then it'll do all the work. It'll grade it for you. That's what we're talking about, right? It'll grade it for you. And then like you can even like lock the assignment so they can't change it, but turn the grades on as you like hand back the thing so that they can get the feedback of what did they get right and what did they get wrong. Yeah, but that's and you can even see this is actually an example here of a STEM answer. So you can see that's not like a normal typed like font. It's actually the STEM answer that I was able to put in some of those boxes. And so you'll see, I'm sure I can find an example here. Like here's a nice looks pretty looking fraction. So that's a really, really cool feature, some of those STEM things. Hopefully that helps to answer those questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. That's great. Yeah. Somebody asked, I think the same person is asking, would students be able to know real time if their answers are correct or wrong? And the answer would be exactly what Ryan just said. If those points are turned on, then they would see their if their answer is right or wrong. Yep.
And I'll just add into that, Katie, that one of the things that's really cool to me is as soon as you click that button to turn the answers on or off, it happens on the student end. So there are times like even if within one assignment, I like when the answers are off, and then I'll turn them on for a period of time. Then I turn them back off for different reasons. And as soon as like it's instant when you click that button, it will turn on and off those answers.
Oh, yeah.
I yeah.
They're asking too, what does it look like to them if their answer is wrong?
So those nice, pretty green boxes that said 1 out of 1, it would just say it would be red, and it would say 0 out of 1 because it's not giving them points for that particular box. So
Yeah, they can get that immediate feedback right away to fix mistakes. It's great
yep.
for those misconceptions, things that they're not, maybe they don't quite know the equation to use or things like that. And Ryan talked about in the last session that he led, he talked about how he will put the different equations or steps in those fill in the blanks to make sure that he can kind of see where they went off track in their thinking process. So that's another good strategy too. Awesome. All right. Oh, I did see another question here. Is the AI option available in other languages? I believe that it is. I am not totally positive, but I am pretty sure that if you start chatting with the student helper in a different language, it will chat with you in that language. I'm going to test that out though and see, make sure that that's right.
Do you want me to try?
Sure. Yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. We've got a couple
Is-
minutes left, so
Can you put something in chat um, that is in a different language? Maybe can you ask, how do you
yeah,
multiply perhaps or something? And I can always convert it.
yeah. We'll have to translate it into
Yeah,
something.
translate it. Hold on.
While you're working on pulling that
Yep.
up, Angela, we
Yep.
have
Go
another
ahead.
question here about the STEM function. So to use the STEM function, do we need to be premium users? And how about students? That is a good question. I think the STEM keyboard is on Pro, if I remember correctly. I think that might be a Pro feature. I'm going to double check on that though. And then when using multiple choice buttons, how do you keep students from clicking until they get the correct answer? That's a great question, Tracy. What I usually recommend to teachers for that is to um, if you're going to use multiple choice questions, I would turn those points off until you've had a chance to see what their initial reaction is or what their initial answer is. So you can see who gets it right away, and then you can turn them on and let them go in and fix it. That way you kind of have that initial response. Oh, there we go. Maria put a Spanish question in the chat for us. Angela, I think you're on mute.
Yep. Couldn't find
Okay,
it.
perfect.
I couldn't find it. So yes, you can see I put it in Espanol and it responded in Espanol. So I'm not sure how many languages, but maybe whichever language you're starting with, it will adapt to.
That's amazing.
That's cool. Thank you for that.
Oh yeah, Braylee gave a really good. So Braylee's in here. She's another one of our coaches, and she said for those multiple choice ones, you can set it like a poll and don't assign points. So you can do it that way too, where if you don't assign points and don't assign a correct answer, you can have them answer that way, and then you would still need to check though on that. It wouldn't auto grade if you did it that way. We have a question here asking if the AI feature is going to be available in basic account. That is actually something we're not sure about yet. I don't know if this is going to be just for pro users or if it will be open to basic users as well. So we'll see that soon, I'm sure. Okay, we answered this one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so Michelle said that she will turn off points and then have students do those multiple choice questions. And then she will turn on points and lock it. So students can go in and see that their answer is not correct, but they can't necessarily edit. They wouldn't be able to edit. So that's another really great strategy. I love that. Teachers are sharing all of their tips and tricks here. Excellent. Any other questions? I think we're just about at time, so that's perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And Ryan and Angela, a special thanks to you both for being here and for sharing your expertise and wisdom. Those were just amazing presentations. I'm super excited to see all of these people go out and try these things that you shared. So thank you so much for being here. And everybody, thank you for joining. Come back next week for one of our, let's see, it's going to be webinar 5. So our second to last webinar is next week. So super excited for that. Come back and check it out next week. Same time, same place.